Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and this is another episode. Unfortunately, today I was supposed to do an episode of Hotspots in South Florida, but the weather, it's raining, so I had to stay in. So basically, we're doing a regular episode today. If you caught my last episode, I'm going to give you a little insight on that before we go on. I did an episode a couple of days ago about Payless, and the reason why I did the episode is basically because, we was talking about a few episodes back how a lot of businesses are closing down due to, the coronavirus, due to the pandemic, and also due to, online, ordering, and a lot of like Walmart and big businesses are shutting down the competitions and stuff like that. So that was one of the reasons why I actually did the show inside of Payless, because it's giving you a thing that Payless is not gone. They do have a store down here in Miami, and they probably have a store in other cities and countries where you can go, other cities and states, But let's get into it. There's two topics I want to talk about, and both of them was probably basically coexist. I want to talk about the Tyre Nichols situation that occurred, and also there is a law in Florida now that is being passed that is probably going to affect a lot of us here in Florida. If you don't know, we're gonna get into it. Excuse me if the lightning is bad. The weather and the rain, is affecting the lightning in here and stuff like that. But let's go into it. Talk about, first of all, I want to give my condolences to the families and friends of Tyre Nichols, because I know that is a devastating thing to happen to somebody, to get beaten down by the police. It happened to George Floyd. It happened to Rodney King, even though Rodney King never, died from it. He just got beaten, badly and, stuff. But, it happened to George Floyd. It happened to, a lot of people out there and stuff like that. And not just from the police, from regular people who just, to me, a lot of these people, I believe it's because of racism. But here's the thing about the Tyre Nichols story that's really getting me. These people was not white. They were black people. So now, as I looked into this story, and I looked more into it, I'm saying, it's not just a racist police brutality. It's just police brutality, period. Because now the government has to wake up and say, you can't just think that all white cops are racist. You gotta, or all white cops are evil. You gotta say all cops are evil. Because now look at the situation. These are 5 policemen. And now not just 5, there's more people that has been fired because, you got more, more people that was involved in this. You got dispatchers and other policemen that wasn't really on the scene, but that had some ties to the scene and all that. And I'm sitting up here like, and then there was a post that one of the cops, I think Tyre Nichols was talking to his ex-girlfriend or talking to one of his ex-peoples and stuff like that. I was looking at a post that somebody posted on social media, and I'm like, so it had to be more to this story on why these people, because black cops really don't kill other people. They mostly stand up for police brutality because they know, after the George Floyd incident and stuff, you sit up here and think, we not finna do this, whatever. So it has to be more to this story that has not came out yet, because you gotta realize these are 5 policemen, 5 black police officers that are attacking one black person. That means something that Tyre Nichols had did, or something that was going on in his life, affected these officers for them to come and beat him. And then they had the footage that he was running away from the police officers. Hell yeah, I would run away. That's not resisting. To me, that's not resisting arrest. That's getting away from a beatdown. Everyone that's involved should get time, and I honestly believe this case is gonna go on for about another year, because you still have more people. I just watched the news right before I was doing this show. Another person has gotten fired. They say he wasn't on the scene, but he was involved in somehow. So I'm like, are you seriously thinking that, you know, now the government has to look into, let's go inside these police precincts, let's go inside these police stations, let's go inside these, law enforcement places, and we gotta do a shakedown. Back when Trump and Biden was running for police, Trump did a commercial where he was saying that, oh, Biden want to defund the police, so it may take days or stuff for you to get a police because now he done laid out police. That's not what Biden wanted to do. Biden wanted to go into these police places and shake up the police stations and police precincts and all that because he wanted to get rid of the bad policemen out of the precincts and put the good ones on the street. The police are supposed to protect us, not to kill us. And then Trump made it seem like, oh, that's all he wanted to do was get rid of the police. So now it's going to take you hours to get a police to come and help you. No, that's not what Biden wanted to do. There's always going to be police officers. It's just the fact that now they're look at what's going on. If Rodney King in the early 90s didn't shake up in nothing, and now George Floyd and then this Tyre Nichols, it's a continuing of police brutality that's going on. And now it's time to wake up and say, look, it is now time to get serious about these police brutalities. We need to go and evaluate every police department in the United States, because we are now looking at more killings of not just, of African Americans, for stupidness. You become a policeman and then you see that this man is sleeping with your girlfriend, so you finna go kill him and beat him and do whatever you want because nobody really knows the whole true story behind Tyre Nichols. I mean, that's one of the stories that came out, that Tyre was dating or having or sleeping with one of the policeman's girlfriends or ex-girlfriends, or he's dating him or something like that, to the point. And it was, I read it, but we got the whole, I didn't, it was just like a little post on social media. And I looked at it and I said, are you serious? Like, this is what we had come to now. It's a lot of the people that abuse their positions to the point where they think that they can't get caught. Maybe you did a lot, and you think that they're not gonna, you think that you're not gonna get caught about it. Like, dude, you're being stupid about this whole situation, because for me, I felt like, really, this is something. I'm looking for the post now, if I can find the post about where it said, because one of my friends on social media had posted the picture, and I was looking to see if it's on one of them. But yeah, I look at that and I say that this is real stupid of somebody to actually do something like this. Like, you're using your powers for wrong. I just can't with this. We're gonna come back to this story in a minute. Another story I want to talk about is also, now Florida is now going to pass a law where you don't have to require a license to have a gun in the state of Florida. Now, what do I think about this? This is ridiculous. Because now you're making it where you don't have to take a class or something like this. So now you're making it easier for criminals to actually get a gun. Now, I don't know how this process is going to turn about. And I don't know how this process is supposed to be. But you're sitting up here saying that now that it is more easier for people to get a gun in the state of Florida. And I look at this as stupidity. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, dude, so you're saying to me that I could just go in and purchase a gun and I don't have to have the requirements. So this is why I say these two are going to tie it to each other. Because first of all, it's gonna increase crime in the state of Florida. To me, it's gonna increase crime. And you already got enough crime with police brutality around here, and stuff like that, and with all these protests and everything, there's gonna be more crimes. So, and it's going to be even worse because now, you haven't shook up the police brutalities yet, and this Kyrie Nichols case is still going around. So now you're running around here saying, okay, now you don't have to have a license to carry a gun. You know how many criminals are out here with guns that are not licensed and that are not registered to them? And they're still going to go to jail and they're still going to do, but look how many robberies and look how many cases went back. About 10 plus years ago, I got robbed. I don't know if I ever told you this story. I got robbed by two guys. I was coming home from work. It was at nighttime, and it was Memorial Night. It was on a Monday, the Memorial Night. Memorial Day, but at night. And two guys robbed me on a bike, and I was feet away from my house. I was like, the building that I stayed in was, and then I was in the next build. I was by the building next to me. Two guys on a bike stopped me. They searched me like they frisked me down or whatever. All I saw was a gun. I had a backpack. Now that I know I don't carry a lot of money, I had my rent money and I had computer in my bag. My computer that I had, they took my bag. They took my rent money, told me to lay on the ground. By the time they passed my apartment building, I jumped up and I ran. And what the police did, nothing. You know what they did? They ran because they drove 5 blocks from because there's a traffic light that's on the east side of where I stayed. Like I'm a half a block from a traffic light. They went, and I'm 5 blocks away from, there's another major road. So they went from where I stayed at all the way to the end of where the next major street is, and that's all they did, up and down. Oh, I don't see nobody. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not gonna see two guys on a bike sitting on a corner looking through a book bag. They already done made they flee. They're on bikes, so that means they're already halfway gone. They're probably in another part of the city or somewhere in the northern part of Miami or the southern part. And then they tried to say, oh, they're probably tied to another robbery because there's a little section in Miami called Little Haiti. It's kind of like Haiti, like Haiti, but it's where most of the majority of the Haitians live. We'll talk about it in a future reference. And it was like, oh, it might be they might be tied to a robbery that just happened in Little Haiti. I'm sitting up here like thinking, well, and then nothing really happened with the story because they told me, you have to come to the police station, get your, show them the little numbers, the little numbers that come on the box, like the the little serial numbers and all that, come to the police station. And they kept telling me the same story, and I kept telling them the same story over and over. And then somebody with a 561 number from, and they stole my phone too, So it was like they kept calling me, trying to figure out the situation. Oh, what happened? I'm like, you're not gonna do nothing because basically they took the serial numbers down. So if because if you go into a pawn shop, a lot of these pawn shops have to check serial numbers and stuff to make sure that this stuff is not stolen. Like iPhones and stuff, you can't pawn iPhones because it's against the law or whatever. So they probably did the same thing. And I'm like, these people did not they're not going to pawn this. They're probably going to sell it to somebody, or they're going to keep it for themselves. So nothing really happened when that, and it was like, oh, here's the information where you can probably get. I say that's a lost cause. It's just I got a free month of rent because my landlord knew the situation, and I had a free month of rent, and stuff like that. I had to get a new phone. At the time, the girl I was dating bought me a new phone or whatever, and it was like, then I had to keep looking over my shoulders, because now I look over my shoulders anytime somebody walk past me. I look over my shoulders, or I make sure of my surroundings when I'm walking at night, because now you never know. And I'm sitting up here like, a lot of stuff is not gonna get done with these police. You come in here and you shake up stuff. And what the reason why I was telling you this story is because it's like, you gotta get stuff done. A lot of cases get unheard of, and a lot of these cases are being. And what I was saying is, because I got off sidetrack, but I was saying was because now you got a lot of these people, that get robbed, that get, what I'm saying, their house get broken in, and they have, regardless if they have cam footage or video cameras in their house or whatever. A lot of these people get robbed, and they get stuff stolen, and these cases don't get solved because the police like, oh well, we can't do nothing about it. So now you have these people with these guns, and be like, well, it's not illegal to have a gun now, because now in the state of Florida they don't require you to have a license, even though the gun is not registered to me. I can get my gun registered, and I don't have to have a license, because hell, now I can have a gun and go do what I want to do. So now you're making it more easier for criminals out there to do what they want to do. And I'm sitting up here like, are y'all stupid? Yes, the gun has to be registered under their name, but since you don't have to have a license to carry a gun, a lot of these people can do what they want to do now. And I look at it as if you are now shaking up stupidity and then I'm quite sure there's other states that have these laws. If your state has this law, please email me, roundtable00yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page as well, because this is something that I just don't like the fact that they're doing this. And right off the Tyre Nichols case, you now have it where, okay, you realize that the police are out here killing these people, and now you're lifting the that you don't have to require a license to hold a gun. Now people are just gonna be going, oh, I can go get a gun. Let me 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 go get a gun. I don't need no license. I can go get a gun. And I'm like, if you have, let's say a gun costs $300. If you have $300 and you can go get a gun, and you don't need a license, you're making it more. I mean, you're making a lot of more business for a lot of these gun shops and stuff. You're making more money for them, because now they don't require you to, and then for you to get a license, they may have to look at your background check and all that. But now you're requiring, you don't need a license. How I want to buy a gun? $300. Okay, here you go. Have a nice day. And then 5 minutes later, you robbing a 7-Eleven. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you got to realize these things. It's not going to work in America. It's not going to work in certain cities and certain states, because you already have the police out here doing police brutality. You already have, the government doing a lot of things that's, and now now you're giving the criminals the okay. Because you haven't shooken up the police departments yet to go in and do a serious overhaul, crackdown in police stations, to do police brutality and all that. You haven't really went into the government to say, hey, we need to start doing this and doing this to better, our country or whatever. Excuse me. So now you're giving criminals and people the green light to go further. You don't need a license to carry a weapon in the state of Florida. So now you giving them the green light to go do what they want to do. Or I'm going to rob you now because I ain't got no license. I don't know how the really system works with that, but it's like you're giving people all the green light to do what they want to do. It's like saying you have the freedom of speech, but with a weapon. And to me, like a lot of this stuff I don't like and I don't agree with. Like with this Tyrese Nichols case, I believe don't just go in and shake up the Caucasian police. Shake up every police, because even black people, and I've been thinking this for years, and a lot of y'all probably been saying, "Oh, it's the white policemen out here that think they are, they are policemen, so now they're doing these racist, brutality thing." No, it's every police, because you don't know how many black policemen are in the law enforcement field that are really doing criminal stuff. If you watch these episodes of, like these movies, in the heat of the night, Law and Order, CSI, FBI, and all this other, these movies, and these where you have these quick Training Day was a good thing, where Denzel Washington played a bad cop. A lot of these policemen out here are doing that. They have these, just like if you've ever seen movies where the mob has a police officer. Harlem Nights was a good one too, where you know where they had a nightclub owner that had a police officer on his payroll, and had judges and court officials on his payroll, and he was paying them, "Hey, I'm doing this, I'm paying you so you can keep my business open, so I won't get arrested." You have these people, these mob people that have officers on their payroll, and they're paying them under the table to keep their business on the hush hush, not to get their business taken down, or not to, you have these drug dealers and stuff. And I'm like, you have people out here that are really doing criminal stuff, and you haven't really done an overall takedown of these police stations and police departments and these, federal departments, because you got a lot of people in here that are doing criminal stuff. Just like how you see in a lot of these places, you got these people that are, doing fraud, taking money from people. You got government officials and city officials using city money and government money to pay for their bills and stuff like that. How when the pandemic was coming, you seen a lot of these city officials getting PPP loans and all this, and PPP money, and stuff like that, to pay for their thing when it's supposed to go to their employees, or it's supposed to go to their business and stuff. And they're using this money for their personal use. And a lot of these people, like, you're not really getting, I mean, these people was getting in trouble, of course, because it came to the surface. But you got a lot of these officials in these offices that are using money, and not getting caught, but you're not doing an overall shakedown of these places. And that's what I think the government needs to do, because you're going to keep having people like the Tyre Nichols case. You're going to have people like the George Floyd case, and these cases where these people, these policemen and these law enforcement officers and these people out here that are going to still, they're going to out here and they're going to kill our Americans. They may not kill them physically, but they may kill them emotionally and mentally. Because you're hurting people. You're taking money from the tax. Our taxpayer dollars are paying for these policemen to come out here and protect us, but they're out here killing our uncles and cousins and brothers and sisters and mamas and daddies. Our taxpayer money is out here paying for these government officials to come out here and make a better life for us, but you're making it worse for us by sitting up here passing laws that's going to kill us even more, and that's going to leave us into poverty. If I get robbed right now and I got my money on me to pay my bills, who's going to help me pay my bills? Nobody. So I'm going to get put out of my house, because now you're making it more easier for law enforcement, for human beings to go out here and carry a weapon without it being licensed. You're making it easier for these policemen to come out here and kill us, and all you're gonna do is an investigation and put those people in jail, like the Tyrese Nichols, those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus people that got fired. You're gonna fire them and charge the 5 men who did, and put them in jail, when you got more police officers that are on the force that are doing the same thing. It's just that they haven't got caught yet. You need to really do a takedown of government officials, whether it's law enforcement officers, whether it's, city officials, government officials, whatever it is, because even though these are white collar crimes, you got black collar, blue collar crimes, white collar crimes, you got all these different type of collar crimes, but you're not doing a takedown to say, hey, we need to now start going into these, do an overall assessment of police stations, do an overall assessment, because you need to get the bad guys out of here. When are we going to stop with this? Because it's going to be another George Floyd, it's going to be another Tyre Nichols, it's going to be another, Rodney King. It's going to be another case that keeps going on and on and on till we get it through our head. Well, maybe we need to just start going into these police departments and start doing an overall crackdown, because we can't keep killing our Americans. And every year there's a police out there beating somebody down for whatever stupid reason. I understand if they're resisting arrest and you have to do what you got to do, but you can't keep doing what you're doing because you want to make our streets safer. Tyre Nichols did not deserve to die like that. He did not deserve the treatment that he did. It was the same way with George Floyd. It was the same way with the rest of, a lot of these, police brutalities. And they did not deserve to do that. They did not deserve to die like that, And it is Black History Month, and I know Martin Luther King is turning over in his grave right now to say, I have not fought in this country for the police to do what they do. I have not fought in this country for us to still, and that's why when I did the episode a while back about racism still exists. Yes, racism still exists, because you are not going to get rid of racism. Racism is still going to exist. The KKK still exists. You still got racist areas in certain parts of every state. I was told Mississippi still have racism areas. There's some parts of Mississippi that say you still have racism people. There's racist people probably living right around the corner from me that don't like black people. There are people, racism is not going to go away, because that's going to exist forever. Because as long as people, like racist people, keep dishing out and keep producing life, like say if a white couple produce and have a baby and have 2-3 kids, they're going to raise their kids to be racist. So racism is still going to exist. It's just that now it's more lenient in the racism way. And then not only that, you have racism where the police are killing black people for no reason. That's a form of racism. Because why would you kill like George Floyd? George Floyd didn't need to die like that. You killed that man. And we don't know if these policemen was racist or not, but it came to a point where it was a racist act. We don't know the whole story behind Tyre Nichols, but we know for a fact that it had something to do. One of the reasons why it had something to do with, his girl. He dated one of the policemen's girl or ex-girl, or he had sex with her, slept with her. It is what it is. I want to know what y'all think about this. First of all, let's talk about the Tyre Nichols situation. Do you think that they need an overall takeover and crackdown in these police stations? What do you think the best sentence for these 5 police officers? And what's the best sentence for everybody that's in? Because, they fired some dispatchers and fired some other officers. They need to get the book thrown at them, because you are police officers. Any police officer that is going to trial for any kind of crime, any type of crime, they need to get the book thrown at them, because you are a sworn-in officer of the law that is here to protect people, not kill them. So you need to get the book thrown at you. And also, what do you think about Florida not requiring you to have a license to carry a weapon in the state of Florida? What do you think about it? My overall, like I said, with Tyre Nichols, they need to get the throwing a book at them. At least 5, 10 plus years. And they cannot ever work in the law enforcement field ever. Meaning you can't be a security guard, private officer. You can't work for no police station, nothing. Anything that has to do with security. You can't work as a police officer in any other police precinct, regardless if you move from state to state. You can't work as a security guard, meaning you can't go get a job at a at a security agency, or you can't work at a condo, an apartment building, or nothing that requires you to be security. You can't do no type of thing, and you cannot have a firearm. That's my thing with police officers. Police officers should be banned from owning any weapon, should be banned from owning any security job, and from getting hired at any police precinct from wherever you at. And also with the Florida thing, I believe that you should be required to have a license to you should have a license to carry a gun, because if you don't, you need to do a background check on everybody who gets a gun, which I think they do, but they need to have a background check done, because if they have a criminal record, you shouldn't be carrying a gun. Email me roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page. As well, I thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to check out my other videos. Don't forget to click and subscribe to this channel. This is the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry if the lightning is bad, in here, but I'll catch you in the next episode, and stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you on the next episode. Have a good day.